Hey everybody, back again with another card today. This is a big one because this is going to be number 26. This is going to be the Green Arrow from DC Comics, and we are going to knock this out fairly quickly, hopefully. As long as we don't have any technical difficulties or anything weird like that. Hint, hint, Facebook. Had this ruler to hold the paper down for a while. Just keeping it from sliding off while I was prepping. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Memorial Day weekend this weekend. Everybody's chilling out. A lot of people are out at the cons. Like we touched on a little bit yesterday, you know, there's a lot of people out doing their thing. If you are out and about monkeying around, please be safe out there. Hopefully you're safe at home. So, I am knocking this out fairly quickly here. Just drawing in his hand and whatnot. Getting the knuckles to show up there. This is a pretty typical pose for this character. But he happens to be one of my personal favorites. Just really resonate with them. If I was to draw a DC comic, I think it would have to be this character or the Flash. One of the two. The personal favorite for me is the Dick Grayson Nightwing as well, but he's been 52 rendered so much, I'm not sure if there would be any interest from me there. I kind of hang on to the stuff that I grew up with. Not opposed to change or anything, it's just not a adaptation that I'm really impressed with. Some of you may be going, there goes the job right there, man, you should have commented. But yeah, seriously though, I really dig this character. I was planning on drawing him professionally for a while. Filled out a couple of scripts for DC, and unfortunately it never went anywhere, so I'll leave it at that. Right as I was going to do it, they reset the series to Green Arrow, Black Canary, where they got married, and then all the that new Secret Wars came in and all that mess, or I'm sorry, Infinity Crisis came in and all that. And then they changed everything and it went out the window. So I was like, oh well. It looked promising. stuff like that in professional comics happens all the time, though. You just have to move on. This card is being a little bit tough through here with these textures. And it's starting to ripple just a little bit as I grind the pencil into it. So I'll have to refine that when I ink. But that's okay. I'm cool with that. See, it's a little wobbly right there. I'll just have to smooth that out when I ink. But I'm okay with that. So... So, I'm carving out the knuckles here, if you guys can see that, to pop in this arrowhead right here. I'm going to put a little sharpened edge on it right there, so it looks like it's been ground down a little bit. A little pressed indentation there. And I like to put these wiffle marks in there. I didn't do that in the original sketch, but I'm going to do that here right now so you guys can see these, because they don't have to be perfect, especially with homemade arrowheads, because they're called wiffle marks. They're supposed to cause a spin on the blade, so wind comes through them like a wiffle ball. Makes them a little more aerodynamic and tear it up a little bit better when they're flying through the air. Go back to these knuckles here. Is that a question, Matt? Are you asking? If you are, my favorite one has to be the punch arrow. I love the idea of the punch glove on there. It just cracks me up. The idea of someone being able to physically shoot that thing straight is ridiculous. But yeah, that's awesome. And I know it's quirky and a lot of people won't like that, but, that's lame, but, no. The pure physics behind that alone just make it hilarious. Because that arrow should not fly. Not off the end of a regular cable thread arrow, bow and arrow system anyway. I mean, if you're going like old school American Gladiators where they used to shoot the big Nerf darts, that's a totally different system. You have to use air for that. That's the reason it used to pop and make that hissing noise, is because they used to use air launching systems for those. But in a practical world where you were shooting trick arrows, that one would not work at all. Yeah, it would not fly. It looked good on the screen, but but they're not aerodynamic at all, so there would be no way for them to carry for far distances at all. Might want to write Mythbusters about that one since they're back now. You may be able to get them to do a superhero weapons test on that. I know a lot of people that would be into that. That's alright, man. I appreciate you hanging out. Either way. Yeah, can you guys believe we've been at this 26 days now? Crazy stuff, man. And there's still plenty more to come. So, as long as you guys keep showing up and keep checking them out, I'll keep knocking them out for you. One of these days you guys may come on and just be like, well, we're seeing too many, man, stop it. We can't take any more freaking cards. And if that day comes, that's cool. I'll keep drawing them, and you guys will keep coming if you want to, and you'll come back and forth. That's okay too. So, it's what I do, man. It's what I do. So, okay. Gonna get a little more talkative into this thing. Hey, thanks, Tom. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, when I draw comics like this, man, it's one of these weird things that that's why I get so quiet. Sometimes I zone out and just enjoy the craft. But since we're live here, drawing in this shoulder pad for the tunic, because I don't know if you guys knew or not, but the original tunic was bright green, and then the second tunic, the Silver Age tunic, was actually a dark forest or olive green, depending on who was coloring it. So that's the one I'm going with, and that's why it's a little more dull, and it's able to be darkened up and blacked out with good shadow because of the fact that it's contrasting to the rest of it. So put the bottom of the quiver right there. That works. Cool. Alright. So I'm drawing the belt here, which holds the quiver on. Darken up the bottom side of this arrow, make it pop a little bit. Across the top as well. That. And right in here across the thumb, I'm going to put that cable for the drawstring right there behind that first finger, which you guys will be able to see sticking up out of there in just a second, where that connection is between those two fingers, where the arrow tip is, right in there. There's the second finger right there. Hope that shows up okay. Go flesh out this finger. Get the underside of the short knuckles right up underneath there. So, okay. shading in some of this rib cage and some of this chest up here, because I'm going to have the light hitting him from the back down here. So this will pop a lot. And then we'll put a drop shadow right in here to make all that highlight from the back. So there's the edge of the ribs, there's the edge of the lat. And that's just because of the angle he's at where it's flexed up. So you'll barely be able to see that in there, because this will darken up where that muscle flexes out. See a little bit of the obliques right there, and that hip ridge. And we're highlighting the back of the arm right there, where this is coming up from underneath down across this way. Because I don't want a lot of people nitpicking, you know. Hey man, we watched your video and your stuff's a little funky. Your lighting's way off and I don't understand. Well, that's because as you guys follow me along, you'll find out. If you watch some of the earlier videos, you'll find out that I like messing with the rules just to see how far I can push it with multiple light sources. But that's just me, so that's all good. One trademark I need to put in here are the partial gloves here. That's a huge trademark for Green Arrow. You have to have those on. For the comic book Oliver Queen version that I'm doing. Otherwise, hardcore fans will come and string you up and tie you to a tree with a garden hose and set you on fire and leave no way for people to help you. Don't do that. You know, yeah, I didn't like the Robin Hood hats either, but that's what Green Arrow was actually based off of. If you ever saw the original Golden Age version, the original Green Arrow, he was in a bright green tunic or a yellow tunic, depending on who colored him and who drew him and which version they wanted. He wore a neon yellow or a neon bright green tunic and had tights. He actually wore tights. And sometimes they were brown, sometimes they were red, sometimes they were green. You want to talk about awkward? I can deal with the Robin Hood hat that Ollie had for a while. I really can. Because that Golden Age rendition, wow. And it's the same character. But, yeah, he was supposed to be impersonating Robin Hood and helping people. And that was the whole point of the original Green Arrow. He was inspired by Robin Hood. So that was DC's answer to the modern day Robin Hood of the time. That's the reason for the Robin Hood feather, hat. But yeah, I totally agree that was funky. I've never been one for that either, but that was before our time though. That was the reason why he went to the hood rather than the hat. And for a while he didn't wear either one. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Tom. That was one that stuck with me too, because I was like, please don't make me draw the hat. But, so... got to detail out this belt because I left nothing to it. And I left it wide open. I didn't draw the little pouches on it or anything like that. I just left it wide open. I'm going to get my hand in the way here so I can draw these lines. There we go. So, I'm going to drop in this arm back here and draw the arrows in the quiver. And I think that will be where we are at. Got those tipping forward, so yeah. Okay. Got that in there. I'm going to spin this around here so you guys can see. I'm going to draw the arrows in the quiver that run back there. These should be fairly straightforward. Okay, that knocks those out. Now, I think we pretty much have Green Arrow. Hope you guys dig what I made for it. So, tomorrow, the next card up that I have on my list, if you are keeping track and tuning in, is going to be typical His Buddy Green Lantern. I am going to be doing the classic Hal Jordan version. I might even skip up and do a Golden Age Alan. I don't know. We'll see what's up. And like I said, I do these on the fly a little bit before I do these broadcasts so that you guys don't get, it's like, yeah, you pre-made them days before, man. But, yeah, I like doing them on the fly that way. I hope we'll be able to have it tomorrow as long as Facebook works with me like it did today and cooperates. I think we'll be fine. Yesterday was fun. I hope you guys checked out both parts, both parts of the Flash sketch card demonstration, and I hope you like the results of what I posted online. And you'll check out the collection and give me some likes and hang out with me and continue to associate with me if I flag you with a card sketch and say, hey, we're almost on, are you coming on? And say, hey, leave me alone, man, you're freaking me out. But anyway, I digress, so I'll leave it at that point. Talk to you tomorrow.